Aye, yes. Well, your due reward. I'm not the kind not to pay for a job well done.
Farewell.
Farewell, indeed. Which means that be Lord of the Wood completed. And that means our lumberjack friend will have their friends finally avenged. Don't worry, pal. Job well done. After a detailed investigation of the shrubbery and thicketry lining the forest floor, what exactly he looks for during such an investigation is a complete mystery to me. I see nothing but endless chance to tear one's horse. But Geralt concluded he was tracking a lesion. In order to defeat this elusive monster, he would first need to provoke it into attacking him. That's right, dear reader, he planned to deliberately provoke a lesion. The very thought sends shivers down my spine. Once Geralt had defeated the lesion, the halfling paid up without making any fuss. There's no denying it, Green Hodge proved himself an honorable individual. And so we continue back to Novigrad, back to the Rosemary and Thyme, and back to hopefully the opening.
Come by the Chameleon!
Come on now.
Dining tonight. A performance by the illustrious duo, Master Dandelion and Priscilla!
Hold on, you changed the name? It's no longer the Rosemary and Thyme, but the Chameleon? I mean, fancy, and also I like the lighting. Very theatrical indeed. Well, don't mind me. It's not the Rosemary and Thyme.
Art in G major, and
I've told you, the piece is sad, melancholy. It needs a minor key
but I wanted
to ruin everything. We'll start in E minor.
Well, she knows what she wants.
Well. See, the crew's been hard at work. Not bad.
I love it, especially the accoutrements on the wall. What about Rotlick? Did you get the placards?
Rotlick said he'd bring them on his own. Should be here soon.
Great! The best way I can think of to promote the Chameleon.
Yeah, it's not the Rosemary and Thyme anymore?
Never mentioned wanting to change the name.
Rosemary and Thyme wasn't all bad, but it conjured images of Temerian cuisine served by waitresses in peasant garb. Chameleon's a lot better for a cabaret, apart from which it emphasizes that the place has undergone a transformation. Just a better ring to it all round.
A fair point. So, what about the choreography? Did everything with that work out?
What about choreography? Prepared anything special for the opening?
We haven't. But Polly has. She's priceless. Came in and brought the girls in line before I could say knickers. Premier will have the audience on their feet, on their knees, both at the same time.
Well, okay then. And when's the grand opening as a result? Tonight?
Guess everything's ready. So when's the opening?
Soon. We start our dress rehearsal in an hour. I just need to nip back home for my dress.
Well, we can't wait.
Thanks for everything.
Don't mention it.
Place does look lovely.
Seems my cabaret dreams are about to come true. So, around to celebrate? I'm buying.
Gladly, friends, gladly.
Why not?
That's my boy. The foreman mentioned he saw you and Priscilla talking,
He's all right.
and she say anything about me?
Kinda? Yeah, she said you're fat and you smelled. Definitely not. She praised you rationally. Honestly, I don't fully remember what she said, but why do you ask?
Can't say I remember. Why do you ask?
No reason.
No reason at all.
Well. Never thought I'd live to see the day. Dandelion living in monogamy.
I've always been monogamous. Well, near enough. I just changed muses often.
Well, that's one way to
Priscilla,
say
another
it.
one for your collection?
No, she's its crowning glory.
I hope it works out for you, pal.
One thing's eating me. How do you manage to get the loan from Sophronia?
Ugh, wasn't easy. She got so excited about our performance, I had to read to her for 4 hours. 4 hours from the cloak and the dagger.
Oh boy.
You mean you didn't...
Are you crazy? Who do you think I am?
I mean, it was an option.
She's late, of course. She knew how important this night was to me.
Of course she did. Probably just making herself gorgeous. Takes time, you know.
So it's true. A woman's vanity knows no bounds.
Master Dandelion! Priscilla, she's
What? Speak, man.
she's badly been attacked.
By
They
who?
took her to Volmerius Hospital.
Attacked? She's hurt? Geralt, come with me, please.
Of course, let's go.
Gods. Priscilla. Is she gonna live?
I'd say that's certain. Her condition's critical but stable. Beg your pardon, but you are a relative?
Relative? No, a friend. A very close friend.
Dandelion, correct? She uttered the name in her few moments of lucidity. I am Joachim von Gratz, head of surgery. Until recently, a lecturer at Oxenfurt Academy.
Enough of the courtesies. What are her injuries, besides her eye?
A concussion, cranial swelling, incision into her larynx, and scalding inside the throat and esophagus. Clearly someone forced her to imbibe a caustic fluid.
What? So this was no robbery, no ordinary attack, that's for sure. Which begs the question, who did this to her?
So this was no ordinary attack, no robbery.
Clearly not. It was the act of a demented mind, and not its first.
This has happened before.
How can you know that?
I've seen wounds like this. They're not the kind one would forget, don't you agree? In fact, just this week, a corpse turned up in the morgue with similar injuries. And no heart.
No heart? You mean that might have happened to Priscilla? Is someone looking into this?
This is Novigrad. Only the innocent burn here.
Now it's time someone does something about it.
I know I owe you 100 times over, but I need to ask you another favor.
This ain't no favor, pal.
Find the bastard who did this.
This is personal.
Find him. And kill him.
Don't need any convincing. Come on, Dandelion. Let's think about what we can do.
I would suggest examining the previous victim's corpse. It has yet to be autopsied. Doing so could very well provide some clues. No need to look astonished, gentlemen. As a surgeon, I know the importance of preventive medicine. Rather than wait for this maniac to strike again, I'd prefer to excise him. Not unlike a tumor.
Yeah. You're putting yourself in danger, though.
Great analogy, but this tumor's not gonna sit there, wait to be excised. Appreciate the help, but I doubt you know what you're getting yourself into.
I know perfectly well, and I assure you I can take care of myself.
Easy assurance to make, harder to back up, especially if you've spent your whole life wielding a scalpel, not a sword.
Look at this scar. Don't be shy. Any idea what leaves such a mark?
A flail. Morningstar, maybe.
What do you think? A blow sustained at the operating table? No? Let me repeat. I know what I'm doing, and I wish to help.
Well, in that case, your help is appreciated. Can I get into the morgue from here?
Think they'll let me into the morgue?
By the main entrance, certainly not. But you can also get inside through the sewers.
The sewers. Travel them often, Doctor?
As often as required for, the pursuit of preventive medicine.
Alternative treatments. Aggressive ones, I'm guessing. Interesting.
We can discuss this en route. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready to go. Let's do this.
Ready and intrigued. I'll get whoever did this, Dandelion. Even if it's Hierarch Hemmelfart himself.
Thanks.
But that just begs the
You
question,
lead.
why?
So, preventive medicine you practice in the sewers. What's that about?
Think. Sewing up drowner victims can grow awfully tedious. Is it not better to nip the problem in the bud? I tried to get the temple guard to enter the sewers, alas, to no avail.
Mm-hmm.
So I took matters into my own hands.
At no charge. You damned idealists, ruining the market for us.
Maybe. At the same time, though, we've got a job now. Or at least a side activity. So, drown us for now.
Hear that?
Been hearing it for a while. Draw your weapon.
Be ready. Okay, you're screaming. Screaming for what? No need to scream. You know what you were doing, right? Come on. Come on. Thank you for that crossbow shot. Let's see what we got here. Oh, that's a water hag. Hello, how are you doing? Hope we don't disturb your rest all too much. Well, kinda I hope I do. Boy, stop. Stop that. Stop that. It's getting a little bit bothersome. Thank you. More drowners en route. Let's see. I'll take that. Okay. Don't get yourself killed, please. I kinda need you. Oh. I kinda need you alive, and when I say don't get yourself killed, it also means don't attract and lure the enemy in when I'm starting to loot. Are you gonna hit them? I mean, if you want to learn my way, or our way, I guess we're a team now. Okay. I know you're a capable man. But... yeah, maybe it's better if I do this myself. Yeah? Come on, boys. Come on. Here we go. A little bit of fun here. A little bit of fun there. Don't make me take out my torch. I mean, at this rate, I am gonna take out my torch. But this also works. Okay. You know, that's... bolts was not exactly required, Joachim.
I kill one, another takes its place.
I know how you feel, believe me.
Drowners be kinda endless. So, yeah. I didn't want to pull out my torch, but fine.
Where to now? Up?
Yes, it's not far now.
Yeah, but...
Priscilla. How's it look? Give it to me straight, no sugarcoating.
Her wounds will heal, but it's her voice that concerns me.
Oh.
Surely you understand what a terrible blow that would be to a Troberet.
yeah.
Enough to strip her of the will to live.
Any remedy for that?
I fear only your friend Dandelion can be of help on that count.
Just to support her. Oh. But again, the question, why? Like forcing someone to imbibe some kind of... something? Also, just making sure there's no leads here. No secret escape passages hidden in the barrels. You know, the same old, same old. I already left a few barrels behind without checking them, and I already feel bad about that one, so yeah. Anyway. For starters, can I stick to what I currently got going on, which would be Carnal Sins? Telling this story, my dear reader, will tax me greatly. It is a dark and somber one, encompassing the greatest sorrow my heart has ever known. It all started the day of the grand opening of my cabaret. Everything had been spit-polished to perfection. All that was left was to wait for Priscilla, whose performance was to be the crowning moment of this glorious evening. Yet when the doors of the Chameleon burst open, it was not she who stepped inside. Instead, it was a messenger from the Vilmerius hospital. His face pale and his countenance dour. He informed us Priscilla had been badly wounded in an assault and was currently tottering on the brink of death. Yeah, go through the sewers to get to the mortuary. Why is someone or something trying to kill people in these gruesome manners? And how did Priscilla survive this?
Take the ladder.
Yeah, I don't see anywhere else to go, Joachim, but thank you for the advice.
This is the place. Come, the quicker we take care of this, the better.
Why? Got somewhere to be?
Someone might disturb us. The coroner, for example. Or Reverend Nathaniel Pastodi. Very well. We seek the corpse of a Dwarven woodcarver.
Dwarven woodcarver. All these others are just random people?
Human. Wrong body type.
Oh, clearly. Yeah, definitely just looking for a normal dwarf. Witch hunter.
Looks like necrophages got to this one.
Oh, what
Let's
a
keep
shame.
looking.
Okay, I'm so tempted to just start stealing all stuff, but no. You guys need this stuff for dealing with the dead and making sure that no diseases spread and whatnot, so yeah. Looking for the body of a dwarven woodcarver. There'd be a lot of people here.
That's gotta be him. But this one's a she.
Oh.
Remember, beards are no indicator of gender amongst dwarves.
Really?
Let's keep looking.
Okay, I had heard about that, but I didn't think about it. Also, there'd be a whole lot of blood that's just seeping through. Very gruesome.
Calluses on the fingers, sawdust in the beard, clothes sticky with sap. Must be our dwarf.
Excellent. I trust you don't grow weak in the knees at the sight of blood?
Not a bit. Start the autopsy.
Where?
Let's start with the... I'd say either the head or the torso. Because I want to know what exactly happened. What were they forced to imbibe and whatnot?
Let's look at his head. Hair smells like it's burnt. Like he was in a fire.
Notice anything else? That his eyes have been scooped out, for instance?
What? Okay, his larynx has been cut. Why that? That's so specific.
Incision made into the voice box.
So specific.
Indeed, so thin as to be nearly unnoticeable.
A small, extremely sharp instrument. Scalpel.
But why? The wound is too small to bleed, and there are signs of swelling. The murderer... I believe he performed a tracheotomy.
A what now?
So the victim wouldn't die too soon.
Okay, well, let's take a look in his mouth in that case.
Let's examine the mouth. Burns, blisters.
Just like Priscilla's.
And what about the eye sockets? Scooped out? Oh! No, we're not ready, not yet.
Let's look at his head.
Notice anything else?
Let's examine the eye sockets.
Those burn marks I see in his eye sockets.
Yes, and some grey dust. Ash, it seems, very fine.
Murderer gouged out his eyes, then put burning coals in the sockets.
So it seems. Looking at the wounds, it appears our woodcarver was still alive when it happened.
So we're truly dealing with a maniac here. Alright, let's look at something else. What about the torso?
Let's examine his torso.
What have we here? Deep wound on the left side of his rib cage, and a scar the length of his stomach.
Let's examine the chest wound first.
Let's examine the chest wound. Yeah, heart carved out, wound cauterized.
Wait a minute, there's something else.
What's on your mind?
An egg from an amphibian. A salamander? Scorched but intact.
I attended some lectures in herpetology as a student. Afraid I don't recall any amphibians that would lay eggs in corpses. So either Professor Cochrane was deeply mistaken, or this is our murderer's doing.
Which again begs the question, why? Okay, what about his scar?
Look at the scar. Wounds long and thin, an incision, but the edges are ragged.
Means nothing. Look, no swelling, no bruises. An old injury, perhaps an accident in the workplace.
Could be. Alright, well, how about we open his abdomen, see what we can find.
Open the abdominal cavity.
Due warning, it will stink of rot.
Once fought a Zoogle up to my waist in sewage, so I doubt... Wait. Smells not rot.
Formaldehyde. A medical novelty. Heavily diluted, it's remarkable at preserving organic tissue. In stronger proportions, it's more destructive than acid.
Explains why there's no smell of decay, and why his throat's scalded.
So who would have access to that kind of stuff? Because that doesn't seem like something that you would easily get. Also, an incision in the throat or the voice box thing with a scalpel, possibly. We might be looking at someone from either this hospital or someone who is knowledgeable in the medical worlds. Let's see what we can find on his hands. Maybe he scratched the attacker or something.
Look at his hands. These welts. Rope burns, right? He was tied up.
I'd expect so. No one could sit through such torture unless bound.
Speaking from experience.
Yes, that of a victim. Spent a year in the dungeons of Tretogor. Long story.
Some other time, maybe. See the callus? Our dwarf wore a ring, but someone took it off him.
If we find a ring, we might be able to learn more. Alright, well, what about the legs in that case?
See anything interesting on his legs?
His right foot. The ankle swollen, toenails broken. He clearly kicked something very hard. Right before he kicked the bucket.
Doesn't strike me as the right time for jokes.
Apologies. We surgeons, we've a different sensibility.
And a different sense of humor.
Alright, and finally, maybe a bit gruesome and also inappropriate, but are the genitals in order?
His genitals. We ought to inspect those.
I sincerely doubt they bear any relation to the matter.
Probably, but we'll see. Like, this killer is seemingly quite a maniac, and the more we know, the better.
We'll see. Pull down his trousers and... shit.
Syphilis, actually. Early stages. No sign of diffusion.
Think there could be a connection?
No.
Only as the killer's potential motivation.
Yeah. Alright, well, I guess we know enough in that case.
Alright. Think I know enough.
Enlighten me, please, because I've still no notion what this is about. What the motive might have been.
Motive I'm not sure about either, but... this was a ritual murder, this was punishment, no motive, murder's mad. Rather not share my conclusions. If I have to take any possible subjects in mind right now of who I know, I'm very sorry, but you are also included, possibly. But the way it happened, the voice box cut off, burning coals in the eyes. I say this might even be a ritual murder, maybe. But how did she survive? Honestly, I'd rather not share my conclusion just yet. But that might mean he might suspect that we suspect him. Let's say this was a ritual murder.
It's some kind of sick ritual. You saw it. Burns in the eye sockets, cavity where the heart should be, scalding liquid, all centering on warmth, heat, fire.
Cleansing.
A fire eternal.
It's a lead worth following. Any idea what his name was?
Fabian Meyer. And I'm Hubert Reich, the coroner.
Greetings.
I've come to perform the autopsy, but I see you've done it for me, Joachim. As always, you interfere where you're neither needed nor wanted, drag others into trouble in the process. Who is this?
A student. Lifelong learner. Got a couple questions for you.
Very well, speak. But be quick. Reverend Nathaniel has come by for an inspection. He'll be here shortly.
Okay. I take it you two know each other?
You old friends?
Hubert taught me the rudiments of medicine. Long ago.
And not very well. You've still not mastered certain basic principles. For example, that a doctor's role is to treat the ill, not save the world.
You've not changed a bit.
A compliment?
No, a statement of fact. 30 years, and you've not changed a bit.
Anyway, this woodcarver's body, where was it found? If we can figure out what the deal is with where these bodies were dumped, maybe there's a connection there.
Woodcarver's body. Where was it found? It's important.
Plan to investigate? Exciting. He died in his workshop south of the market square, just beside the gate to Far Corners. That poor Trebirans was attacked there. City's abuzz about it. But the woodcarver, Eustace the corpse collector, brought us the body. You should speak to him. Saw him just around the corner near... Oh, greetings, Your Reverence.
Who are these people? I believe I made it clear no one's to be allowed in under any circumstances.
You did, but they're friends of the deceased. Here to collect the body.
Out of the question. Show them out at once.
As Your Reverence wishes. Gentlemen, follow me. You shall leave via another route.
Well, thank you. I'm glad you're not sending us through the sewers again.
Why'd you cover for us?
I was covering my own arse. If Reverend Nathaniel had learned someone had entered the morgue, then cut open a corpse without his permission, I'd be in deep trouble. But you didn't give that a thought, did you, Joachim? As ever. Well, while I don't approve of your willfulness, I also wish to see this murderer hang. So, should I learn anything new related to this case, I will let you know.
Thank you.
Truth be told, I don't trust any of these three right now. Out of the three, I trust you the most, but... Yeah, Nathaniel, who's he?
Nathaniel. Who is he?
A scoundrel. A rogue. Like every man who wears the robes of the eternal fire.
Most are scoundrels before they ever put on the robes.
True in his case as well. Before he donned the frock, Nathaniel was a torturer. Delighted especially in torturing women. Later, Hierarch Hemmelfart appointed him to oversee the morgue. He deals with the temple guard, supervises cremations, conducts funeral masses in the temple on the Isle, and so forth.
Dream job.
Seems to be the case. Anyway, you could have told me you knew the coroner.
Might have told me you know the coroner. We could have skipped the trip through the sewers.
I know him, thus I avoid him. I've said enough on the subject.
Alright. Well... I decide when I've heard enough. It seems like you've had some trouble in the past. I guess I won't press you any further. You have been helping me, so yeah.
Don't aim to press you.
Thank you. I've nothing to hide. It's just an old wound. Unhealed as yet. What will you do now?
Plenty of leads. Woodcarver's workshop, the corpse collector who found him, alley where Priscilla was attacked. Got work to do.
As do I. At the hospital. I must return there. But I shall keep my fingers crossed.
And I'll keep my eye on you.
I definitely will. Mostly because... yeah. I'm not entirely sure what to think of these three. As they all be... a prime suspects for the Carnal Sins. Hubert Reich. The wave of religious and racially motivated killings that swept through Novigrad in the spring of 1272 coincided with Hubert Reich's term as a coroner at the city morgue. Because of this, he was overworked and additionally had to bear the harassment of his dislikable superior, Reverend Nathaniel. It is thus no surprise that he came across as unpleasant and sarcastic when Geralt and he first met. Furthermore, it was clear there was bad blood between him and Joachim von Gratz, a fact that did little to improve the already rather stiff atmosphere at the morgue. Nevertheless, having learned the reason for Geralt's unexpected visit, Hubert made it clear Geralt and Joachim could count on his help. Joachim von Gratz. We met Joachim von Gratz, chief surgeon at Vilmerius Hospital, in very unfortunate circumstances. My Priscilla had been attacked and he was tending to her wounds. I must admit I was so shaken I hardly remember our first meeting, save that he was a cool-headed doctor who seemed to know a great deal about the previous murders, and offered his help investigating the matter. It seemed the surgeon was no stranger to violence, for he bore a formidable scar worthy of a veteran of the Battle of Brenna. Geralt also noted that von Gratz seemed quite experienced at navigating the sewers and fighting the monsters dwelling within it. It was hard not to notice that Joachim von Gratz did not care much for the city coroner Hubert Reich, who dropped in unexpectedly on Geralt and the doctor at the morgue. Then Nathaniel Pastordi. Reverend Nathaniel, supervisor of the city morgue and cleric of the Church of the Eternal Fire, was a man with a vile character and a stormy past. Before donning the frock, he had served for years as a city torturer. One would be hard-pressed to find a more inferior candidate for a pastor than a former hangman, but, as the saying goes, in Novigrad, anything is possible. So yeah, in that regard, all three of them, in my books, currently, possible suspects. But that also makes me note that, hey, I still have some information on Irene Regard and Thaler, so yeah. Irene Regard's vast experience in the performing arts had made her not just the informal leader of the mummers troupe known as the Foxen, but its brightest star as well. This talented artist was famous for her brilliant performances as a leading lady in both comedies and tragedies. Her performance in such acclaimed plays as Love in a Time of Contempt, The Barber of Gavir, and 7 Bridges for 7 Emperors had made her name well known to anyone with even a modicum of interest in culture and the arts. And of course our good friend Thaler. Geralt was not expecting to meet Bernard Duquet, former head of Temerian intelligence, in such circumstances. Their relationship went back a long ways, to the time when Ducat was leading an espionage operation in the Vizima Temple district, disguised as a fence named Thaler. Thaler the Fence was known for his gruff manners and extremely filthy tongue, which really hadn't changed much since those days. But Clogs, the cobbler, as Duquet now calls himself, was as rude and vulgar as Thaler had ever been. His exact role in the attack on Radovid was not clear, but considering his expertise and professionalism, one could hardly expect him to share that information, not even with an old friend. But that leaves us to find Eustache, the corpse collector, examine the place where the woodcarver died using our witcher senses, and investigate the alley where Priscilla was attacked using our witcher senses. Both of those are pretty close nearby, so that would imagine that, hey, whoever is doing these killings, he has a hunting ground right over here. But let's see if we can find this Eustache, the corpse collector, first and foremost. Which means he would have to be right over here. Well, it seems like it's a busy day with corpses. Dear oh dear, what happened here?
Can't go out in the streets no more.
Bandits?
Years before, they didn't used to kill women.
Fall afoul of the king of beggars, and you'll get no mercy no matter who you are.
Oh
boy.
Human can't do cock when they come.
Gods, what happened here?
That's my question.
Monsters must have run them down. There's swarms in the city now.
Is it monsters, bandits?
Pardon, but sod that sort of talk, you know. They've knife wounds.
That's just
means
talk.
bandits dropped them. Plain as that.
Yeah, okay, bandits seem much more likely.
Poor Lydica. Just last eventide saw her go into the well. She waved to me.
Best stay home after dark. Bar your door, bar your windows.
It'd be dark times in Novigrad for sure.
He was selling love talismans.
Oh boy.
Greetings, Haggard.
Greetings, excuse me, passing through, Eustache, greetings.
You, Eustace, the corpse collector?
Aye? How'd you know?
Fourth sense, I think it is.
Definitely.
Fabian Meyer's body to the morgue.
Fabian. Oh, yeah, I remember. No ice, no art, one of them, right? No purse neither, as I recall.
Ah. Collected other bodies with those same injuries in the past?
One of them? So there have been other bodies like that?
Sure have. Beggars, street urchins, and street walkers. One went so portly, I had to cut her into pieces to fit her in me wheelbarrow. Slippery sow, they called her, on account of her.
Some things are best left unsaid.
Maybe,
What
yeah.
happened to the pieces?
What do you mean? Reverend Nathaniel ordered them burned. Every last one. Oh, shame that was.
Shame? Why? Actually, never mind. Another thing that's best left unsaid.
Yeah. Did you search the body of the dwarf?
You searched Fabian's body?
Well, I cast an eye in his pockets. Made sure nothing went to waste.
I call a spade a spade. You rob corpses.
And I call a prick a prick. It's none of your fucking concern. What, you tax collector? Piss off, mutant.
Yeah, I don't exactly like you striking that kind of tone to me. On the other hand, yeah, it's fine not to piss me off, definitely. Tell me what you found. Here's some coin. No. What was in his pockets? Tell me. Because whatever might have been in there might be an important lead. I mean, I don't... On one hand, yes, it is grim and cruel and evil for you to search a dead man's pockets and take what's in them because it's not yours. But then I look at myself and all the bandits I kill and all the stuff I steal from their pockets, so... Call a spade a spade.
Talk. What did you find on him?
As you wish. Triflings, baubles, glass-beaded ring, handful of coins, and a letter. Look, vellum, quality parchment that. I'll wipe off the writing and sell it as new.
Please don't wipe off the writing just yet.
That's human skin.
What?
Priscilla. Next victim's name. If you'd given this to the right person, she might not have been hurt.
What the fuck do I care what happens to some Priscilla? We short of wenches in this town.
Yeah. How about this? Not just because of Priscilla, but just because of the fact that you're a total prick.
What was that for?
For everything.
Time for you to learn some manners, basically. Dear, oh dear. Okay, well this changes things entirely. A name written on human skin? I'm sorry, but what the hell? Why? Yes, he definitely was. Well said. We've got a madman murderer with ritualistic murders, gouging out eyes, burning them from the inside out, taking their heart, hole in the eye, now also writing on parchment made of human skin with a name for the next target. What the hell? Again, main question. Why? What is this murderer trying to achieve? Is this purely joy in killing and whatnot, or... Anyway, there'd be the area where the dwarf was found in this area. I'll quickly take a look here. Let's see what we can find. We'll take Priscilla's location... We'll not take Priscilla's location last, because if the murderer made a mistake, he might have actually left clues here. Whereas the old location might have something already cleaned up to make sure that there aren't any clues remaining. So, greetings. I hope no one touched anything here. Because if you did, well, yeah, I'm gonna be unhappy.
A brazier. This time of year?
Of course, there's many braziers around, right? I'm not sure if that's important. Hi, formaldehyde.
That smell. Formaldehyde.
How am I to know? Watch him, see what he does.
That's it, you're in for it.
Excuse me?
Fucking come on.
Excuse me?
Well, how long you gonna make me wait?
Boys, what is the problem here? Why are you trying to punch me in the face? You know what? Here. What do you mean I can't do that right now? Okay, maybe I should have talked to you guys first. Oh, you think that I'm the one responsible, that I'm the one who's trying to clean up the mess that I made beforehand. Is that it? I mean, you're not gonna get around me. Well, you're definitely trying to and half succeeding. So, okay, come on. Come on. That's it. That's it. No. Come on. All three of you, calm down. This all is none of your concern, truly. So please... Ow. Okay, I'd love to axe you right about now, but... Come on. Go down. Go down. Go down. And now you. Please, don't interrupt me. I'm trying...
Lost your nerve?
To actually solve a murder here. So get out of my way. Thank you. Goodbye.
Think you'll get me too, huh? Up your ass, deviant! Hoes can fight back!
You didn't
Calm
dare
down,
to
I'm not
ask?
gonna hurt you. What are you doing here?
Getting vengeance. Well, why are you staring? Have you not heard killers always return to the scene of their crime? Me and my brothers are waiting here to give him a warm welcome. For Priscilla. Almost did her in, the whole son.
Yeah, I know.
Here to look for clues and find anyone who might know something.
Fear I can't help you much. But I can tell you what I know.
Yeah. Were you and Priscilla friends?
You and Priscilla friends?
Friends? Nah. But she saw more than a stupid whore in me. Treated me with respect. It mattered.
Yeah, I
was
can
looking
get
to
that.
Give up whoring, pick up a decent trade. But none would take me. Not as a washerwoman, nor a servant, nor a cook. Felt like a leper, I did. But Priscilla, she was different. Agreed to put me in her play, you see? Lots of the other actors, they were afraid on account of her jesting about the eternal fire. Whistling Wendy on stage, can you imagine it? Well, dream's gone now. I'm back to working street corners.
Sorry to hear that.
You could do worse as work goes. Or so I tell myself.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, you know that Priscilla wasn't the sole victim, right?
Priscilla wasn't the sole victim. You aware of that?
Oh, dearie. Course I was. This didn't start yesterday. Others have died like this before. Beggars, street girls, orphans. But who'd have a drama concern about them? Human rubbish. It's what the guards call us.
Recall any names?
They didn't have proper ones. Baldy, curly, buns. That's what folk called them. No friends, no families. Their bodies were burned long ago.
Yeah. So in that regard, there's not truly a connection between the victims because Priscilla seems to be an odd one out. Like, if the others were indeed baldy, curly, or buns, didn't have any folk, no friends or family, Priscilla did have at least friends. Not entirely sure about family, but yeah. Anyway, thank you.
Take care now. I gotta look around some more. Appreciate it if you didn't disturb me.
Naturally, we'll stand aside, behave. But do tell us if you find anything else here.
I guess I will. And sorry for beating up your good folk. Yeah. I want to explore this place without any further disruptions. Hello?
Man's footprint. The murderer's maybe. Weight on his heel. Took a step back.
Okay, interesting.
Human. Priscilla's.
Definitely.
Murderer fled before the guards arrived. Ran this way.
And then a loose brick in the wall?
Trail ends here. Strange. Even I couldn't jump this wall.
Okay. Concerned citizen sermon. Well, that'd be an interesting find. Remember, good people, the light cast by the fire dispels every darkness, reveals each lie, exposes every unworthy and debauched soul. Not even shape-shifting dopplers can hide from its light. Not even witches and sorceresses can so adapt at fooling the common folk. Not the loose women who walk the streets and fog men's minds with their charms. Abandon then the treacherous and immoral magic arcane. Cover your bodies in modesty and provoke no unclean thoughts. The eternal fire will expose for you all monsters and sinners, or else burn you too in its flames. Concerned citizen. Fun! So, yeah, unless this person somehow managed to escape here without leaving any more tracks, we might be dealing with something supernatural here. So either this person walked through the wall, or someone managed to jump over it. I'm not entirely sure what's going on here, but whatever the case may be,
Got a problem?
this ain't normal. That's for sure. But anyway, this does be what Priscilla was basically attacked. What about the dwarf then? What is different about the dwarf and this?
Necessary.
Breathe.
On the road all day.
Yeah.
Doesn't
This doesn't say an awful lot. If anyone was able to jump on top of the wall, well, we can't. They could have gone anywhere without leaving any more tracks. Yeah. Okay, well, dwarf. Let's see what we can find there.
Oi, Witcher! Coroner wants to see you. Been another victim.
Another one?
Told me to say the main door will be open for you. You're to come as soon as you can.
Okay, I will. Thank you. Before we do that, though, I am not leaving until I find the clues I can find regarding the dwarf. He would have been supposedly killed right behind here. Of course I'm in the wrong area. Of course I'm in the wrong area. How do I get there?
No bread, no coin, all is shite.
Anyone home?
Begone, or I'll sick me hounds on you. Molly, Striga, come!
You call one Striga?
Relax. I'm here about Fabian Meyer, looking for his killer.
That's altogether different. Sit, you stupid mutts, lie down. Come on in. Slowly now, lest they bite you.
Charming creatures you've got.
Charming as beasts go.
You daft. Even I'm scared of them. A better barking dog than an evil man at your door.
Very true.
Got someone particular in mind?
Sure as shite. Bugger who did Fabian in. Soon as they'd hauled his corpse off, I ran to a mate who raises fighting dogs. Bought these 2 mutts. Cost me a chunk of change. But I sleep sound at least.
Yeah, that's at least worth something. As long as they don't eat you up. But anyway, you are...
So who might you be?
The Stiff's brother. Gus is the name. We ran a workshop together. Meyer and Meyer.
What'll it be now? Just Meyer?
Name it. I'll be closing it down now. As soon as I find a buyer for this shack, I'll head on to Mahakam. Be near my family or what's left of it. So, what do you want to know? What can I tell you about Fabian?
Well, I was going to ask if you know anything about the murder and if your brother had any enemies, but I'm also wondering about why is there a pyre here? Do you know much about the murder?
Tell me what you know about the murder, in order, in detail.
'Twas like this. Had some work in Oxenford, and I was coming home. Saw a plume of smoke rising over the city. Thought to myself, blast it, gonna miss him burn another hag. But the smoke wasn't coming from Hierarch Square. It was coming from here. See the soot stains? That's where they burned our sculptures. Folk gathered round the blaze, and found Fabian here beside it. They'd already loaded him on the cart by the time I arrived.
Talk to your neighbors. They see anything suspicious beforehand? Hear anything?
Claim not to. But even if they had, they'd not have helped. In Novigrad, folk give bleeding orphans in the street a wide berth so as not to stain their poor lanes. They care about some dwarf.
So, not entirely sure about this one, but maybe there might have been a connection in regards to your brother having enemies? Maybe Priscilla having enemies?
Your brother have any enemies? Anyone dislike him? Threaten him, maybe?
'Twas Fabian who threatened this one last.
Okay.
He was a good dwarf, a craftsman like no other, but he was an incorrigible whoremonger as well. Whenever we put a bit of coin aside, I'd say, let's buy some tools, quality timber. No, he grabbed the purse and head out whoring. Took to following one in particular. He'd say, "'Tis all your fault, dirty bitch, human dish rag," and other obscenities. Don't rightly know what that was about. Maybe he was in love with her.
Know where I can find her? This dish rag?
City cemetery. She died a few days back, quietly in her sleep. Her pont said a fever took her.
Okay. Well, I guess we've talked enough in that case, thank you.
Fine, we've talked enough. Need to look around.
Be my guest. Just beware of the dogs.
If they bite, I will kill. I swear.
Bloodstains.
That's where Fabian lay when they found him.
As he was dragged out of the house.
Murderer dragged something heavy. Dragged something across the floor. Statues. Or dragged it from one corpse to the other, repeatedly.
Oh. What? Okay, a little bit too much information at the same time.
Statues of the old gods. Nothing but women. Shapely ones.
Yeah, someone clearly dealing with, like, punishing sins and whatnot. And I have a feeling that that notes we found is also connected.
Murderer dragged something heavy, dragged something across the floor. Statues. Or dragged it from one wall to the other, repeatedly.
Okay, I have multiple thoughts going on in my mind when I see these markings. Not too sure about that one, but fine. Anyway, Anvil, again, a note. Concerned citizen sermon. Yep, and the exact same. No, wait, it's not the same. Remember, good people, that fire can be both a blessing and a curse. Fire can warm with its flames. Fire can prepare our nourishment. Fire can drive off the horrors of the dark. Yet fire can also scorch, burn and incinerate. That is why we must live in harmony with the eternal fire and its commandments. Whoever fails to heed its lessons, whoever lives in ignorance of it, whoever mocks it, the same shall lose his life in its flames. Take my counsel to heart, good people, or you will reap the consequences of your deeds. Yeah, clearly a fanatic. It seems like. But what was dragged? Can you
Mind if I go
open
inside
this?
the workshop?
I've not even peeked inside since they found Fabian. But I'll open it for you if you want.
Yeah. Not too sure what we will find though, but might be gruesome. Oh, excuse me. Let's see. So something was being dragged.
More bloodstains, but not near enough to say he bled to death. Unless somebody got rid of the blood, left a few stains behind.
Could be. Chair knocked over where he was tied up and tortured.
Furniture got knocked over. This looks like it was kicked.
Kicked by the dwarf. That's why he broke his toe, or broke his toenail.
Formaldehyde. Doubt Fabian used it.
Yeah, clearly this killer's modus operandi. And can I take a look at that one? Come on. Come on.
Eyes. Humanoid. Completely rotten.
Ugh. Gross. Okay. Well. Is there something in this? No, it's just a broken rake. Do you know anything else?
Aye.
Yeah. Look at your sculptures.
Had a look at your sculptures.
What? Lifelike, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. The women especially. Never seen a bust that size on Melitele.
Oh, aye. Fabian's handiwork. I told him, brother, tits like that would crush her back. Whittle him down. He said, nay, they'd sell better this way. Told me to shut me trap. And sell they did. Till one sermon at the temple, when the celebrating reverend said that whoso buys idols from the non-human Myers sins twofold, as a heretic and as a lecher. That was the end of that.
Oh, that's a shame. Okay, well, already know exactly what happened here.
Already know what happened. Fabian was in the workshop. Murderer attacked him there. They struggled. Fabian was overpowered, then tortured. For a time.
I needn't know the details. Truth be told, I hadn't the stomach for him.
When it was over, the murderer dragged Fabian to the courtyard.
Do we have to keep on going if he doesn't want to hear?
Sculptures set them aflame.
But why? Why do all that?
To teach a lesson. To him, you, the whole city.
Well, clearly we've talked enough here then.
Fine, we've talked enough.
Thank you.
Won't learn anything else here. Take care.
So he has his modus operandi for sure, always the same, and targets kinda make sense in this regard, but I still have got a ton of questions regarding all of this. Many more of the puzzle pieces are still missing, which means for now, back to the coroner we go. See what happened with this new corpse. Like, that's something I don't fully get though. Okay, apparently there have been multiple killings happening in a long period of time right now. But for Priscilla to be a failure, and then to have another kill happen this soon after, why would there be another kill this soon after? Like, if you indeed were a killer and you made an error and let one of your victims escape, wouldn't you lay low for a while? Why would you instantly go after another victim? I got questions.
The big guy is right. Something does feel off about this sudden new victim. Are we dealing with a murderer who has to kill and might just have made a mistake in their haste? Or is there more at play with this brand new body?